I recently found out that you can see a personal dietitian covered by insurance. There's this platform called Nourish that will match you with a dietitian based on whatever your concerns are, whether that's weight loss, eating disorders, autoimmune conditions, or something else. They're actually a network with major insurance providers, so most patients pay $0 out of pocket. 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Find your dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
I see my value and my worth so much more from sugar dating because now I have met men who really know how to treat a woman. It's been a very empowering, positive experience for me because I was dating up. And these are not men that in my day-to-day life previously, I would have thought that I would have even remotely been worthy of. And they adored me and they respected me and we had great conversation. And I was like, wait a minute, I belong here. I belong with this type of a man.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the #1 sugar dating podcast in the world, where we pull back the curtains on the good and the bad. And Lily,
the romantic.
Yes, that and the shocking stories of sugar dating. So I know you guys won't be listening to this for probably in March, but today is Valentine's Day here in the US of A.
Yes, and my guy's being so romantic. I got flowers yesterday with a personalized vase.
Nice. Personalized vase.
Yeah.
Well, he had to do some planning on that, and most guys don't do planning.
Yeah.
I don't.
We're going to Vegas in a couple of days, so he said I wanted to give them to you early so you could enjoy them before we leave.
Aww.
And then I got jewelry that I'm sporting today.
Wow.
And he did the most incredible thing that I've been wanting for so long. You all know I like a bald head.
Oh, that's right.
He shaved his head for me.
So,
as a token of love for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Alejandra and I, we celebrated Valentine's the day before because we didn't want to battle the Friday night crowds. And Lily calls us. FaceTime. And all of a sudden, Trucker comes on there. And I think it's a filter because there's filters you can put on that'll make you look like a bald head. And I had to process it for a couple seconds. I'm like, wait a minute, there's not a filter.
No, because if there was a filter, we both would have been bald.
But he grew out he's got like a little goatee now. Are you loving it?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, he's yummy. I feel like I'm dating
a whole new man.
Yeah, I feel like I'm cheating on Trucker with Trucker 2.0.
So all the young men listening to this podcast who maybe are not sugar daddies yet and aspire to be one day, don't be afraid of growing old and losing your hair. Because I shaved my head and grew a beard. And you know what it did? Women told me it made me look younger.
Yeah. I think Trucker looks younger.
Isn't that something? He's 63.
Yep.
But he looks very vibrant now. So,
oh, gosh.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Let's just talk about the party real quick because it's coming up and we are almost out of spots, but we still have a few. If you have not applied yet, do it now. We are definitely going to have more applications and we have spots available. So send in your best video, fill it out the best you can. Go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com / well, it's under the party tab. Anyway, secretsofasugardaddy.com and then hit the party tab. You'll find all the information. Just very quickly, it's 3 days, 2 nights of accommodations in lovely Scottsdale, Arizona. We've got a mixer, I have confirmed now at our country club, and we've got that all set up. We're going to have a DJ, dance floor,
photo booth,
bartender. This is the party before the party. It's going to be great. Then on Sunday, June 22nd, Shakira is in town. Now, Shakira has officially launched her concert. I have the playlist and I have seen videos, and I'm telling you, I may not understand a word of what she's saying, but it is hot.
Can I get an interpreter?
No, some of the songs are in English, but a lot of them are in Spanish, but it doesn't even matter. She is shaking those hips like nobody's business, and it is incredible. The graphics they use in these concerts these days are amazing. The screens and everything, it's quite a show. I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss that. we've got the owner suite at Footprint Arena. Now, this is a double suite with our own private bartender. I'm telling you, it's first class all the way. All you can eat, all you can drink. We got a party bus taking us to the concert and back home. Oh, we had a pre-party at my house, just a pregame. And then once we get back from the concert, the after party at my house will go to who knows when. And then the next day we'll have a brunch and send you guys back home with lots of great memories and new friends. Now, Angie is in the house. Angie, you had such a great time at the last party.
Oh, it was fabulous.
Yeah, and you're definitely invited to this one, so hope you're getting excited. But if you're a Patreon member, now that's our fan club page, patreon.com/Secrets of a Sugar Daddy podcast, you will get priority when we do the judging. If you're not a member, you're kind of low on the totem pole, just saying, and it's free to become a member. Absolutely free, cost you nothing. But we do have some tiers that help support the show and unlock the entire site, which you get to enjoy. It starts at $10 a month, basically a cup of coffee these days from Starbucks or wherever. And then we have some coaching and profile review tiers available. Lily, I just saw an email. You did a really good job. You gave this girl not only one version of a profile, you gave her two to choose from.
Yes, I gave her a more sophisticated one and then a down-to-earth one.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, and she did too. So we do those. I'm telling you, it's cheap. I mean, for $25, we do an entire profile review and an hour of coaching. Our labor doesn't even touch the cost, but I don't care. I want you guys to be successful. We want you to be successful in the sugar dating world. All right. Like I said, Angie is in the house. We're going to say a quick hello.
Hello.
How's things been going?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is going really good.
Well, I was a little surprised that you were coming, but I'm glad you're here because you did an episode that I refer out all the time, episode 32, and it's a great question and answer episode about what is sugar dating, all these basic questions of terminology, how do you find the right people, what you're looking for, lots of great questions and answers on that episode. It's time for another one, and that's why we have you in the house. So we have somebody that I met, and she has just joined Seeking. We're going to bring her on. And we are calling her Summer, even though she's not enjoying the summer right now. We are in Scottsdale, Arizona, but welcome, Summer, and welcome to Sugar Dating.
Thank you. It's surprising of me to be here in some ways.
Yeah, you were asking me a lot of questions, and now it's my turn to ask you questions.
Exactly. And I have some questions for you too, but different than the other ones. When I spoke to you originally, I had no idea that I would be coming at it from a different angle. Yeah.
Right. So give us a little background. You are how old?
I'm 54.
Wait a minute. I was expecting a much lower number. What?
Oh, I look terrible.
Samesies.
You are beautiful.
Okay, guys.
I'm sick, but thank you. But,
she is not only age appropriate, but absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I'm not feeling it today, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You are. You and Lily are the same age.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? Well,
Yeah.
we're doing pretty good.
I'm getting real close to turning 55, though. Real close. Watch
Yeah,
out
I'm not too
world, because birthday month is coming up.
Yeah, we're actually headed to New York City because Lily is turning 55, and we're going to do 5 plays in 5 days.
No way. What month?
Yeah.
What month are you?
In March. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
April. So still pretty close. Still pretty close.
Oh, yeah.
But that's why too. I thought before you came on, because you were on my show, I thought sugar babies were all, max 30. And I thought, my God, for someone my age to have a sugar daddy, they'd have to be 107. But then when you were on, I'm like, oh, I had no idea that wasn't the case.
Well, Angie here is in her upper 40s, and these two girls have had phenomenal success, even though they kind of jumped in the game, quote unquote, late. And here you are doing the same thing. But you have lots of questions because you don't know how to navigate this crazy world yet.
No, not at all. And it seems like it seems in some ways that it would be uncomplicated because it's kind of straightforward, but it's not the way that I thought. And it's funny because in some ways, okay, like I didn't expect to be here, but I always find with my life too, like every 6 months, I'm like, oh, I'm here now. Oh, okay. Oh, now I'm here. Like I'm always surprising myself too. But the thing is, I think why this kind of appealed to me A few reasons. For one thing, I've accomplished quite a bit in my life. I've published a book, I've done a lot of things. However, finances were never my thing. And I've never been into things, which is kind of interesting. Like, I've never been into money or jewelry or trips or stuff, which is good in some ways, and in other ways, not so good, because I left a marriage and kind of didn't take anything, and I don't have family. So I've really kind of made my way through it. I was married a long time and wasn't really allowed to work. So found myself in my late 40s kind of going, uh-oh, with no support and kind of living hand to mouth. And so the problem with me also is I'm somebody who has a really hard time accepting anything from anyone. It's a problem. My friends are like, it's your birthday. Can I get you something for your birthday? Like, I don't even like getting coffee bought for me. I don't like that feeling. So this would seem like it was not for me. But the reason why it appealed to me was in a normal dating situation, I felt uncomfortable. And I'm sure it's just a me thing, but I felt uncomfortable coming to the table with less than I felt I should have at this point financially. So I felt like if I was going to meet somebody, that I was putting them in a position where they would feel like, oh, she doesn't have a lot. She expects me to take over, to carry that weight. And I don't like that feeling. Whereas in this situation, it's kind of assumed, it's not as difficult for me to say I need financial assistance, because it's kind of like, well, that's kind of what this is, give and take kind of thing. So it seemed appealing to me, I guess. Also, I have a very healthy attitude towards sex and relationship type of things and interaction. And so it's kind of like, well, what's the expression? If you do something you like, you're not working. I don't know. So it just seemed like, well, why not? Like, at this point, I'm somebody who really at this age too, I don't really care what people think. So I was like, where's the shame? I don't feel shame around it. So
Angie, you've kind of you've been down this road.
Yeah, I feel like we share a lot of parallels. We were both married for a really long time. Neither one of us took anything from our marriage. I don't have a lot of family support. So I can definitely see, and we were both older when we started this journey. And that's kind of how it was for me. I also typically hate getting things from people because I always feel like I owe them for it. It's this hyper-vigilant, self-reliant, you know how it is. That definitely changed in sugar dating for me, though. So I love what you're saying, and I hear you, and I think you're definitely on the right track. I love that you're super open with your sexuality. You feel very secure.
So you signed up, but are you just not knowing where to go from there?
Okay, so I signed up. Oh Lord, and I actually just hid my profile the last couple of days because I'm like, I am doing everything wrong. So first of all, I find it so interesting because I went on and so many people don't put their picture, right? Which was surprising to me, although I guess it's not surprising, which I realize it's very easy. I have to be pretty comfortable with the idea that somebody might find out I'm on there, because all somebody has to do from my city is take a screenshot. And I'm pretty out there on social media too. It would be very easy. But really, I'm at a point where, okay, so whatever. I don't really care. But there are a lot of people who don't put pictures. So it was interesting to me. I find that some men will put very, very detailed profiles. They'll have a whole novel of what they're looking for. And then other people will put very little. One thing I find very interesting too is that, like regular dating apps, there are going to be liars and scammers, and I've caught some scammers. I'm used to just on social media. I know the lingo, I know the language they use, and I know how to Google image search. And so I found some actual scammers. I find it very funny when you'll see someone who says they're 27 years old and they have $6 million. I'm like, no, you don't. Like there's like certain things I'm just like,
I'm curious, did you call the scammers out or just ignore them?
No, because on this one, no, because usually in like my other life on regular social media, I call them out. I usually play with them a little bit. But I don't think I did. I think I just blocked. I'm like, this is already so new for me. I don't want to make any enemies.
Well, and the other thing is you don't want to risk pissing somebody off and then they falsely report you or
that's it.
You banned. So exactly. It's not worth it.
Exactly. So it's too unfamiliar to me.
But if you find one, and I invited you to our girls group where we just have a group of 70 or more now at this point, sugar babies that communicate with each other and run things by each other. And when I find a scammer or I find somebody who is scary or dangerous or suspicious, I like to let my girlfriends know because I don't want them to run into it. So I would maybe report it to your sugar baby friends, but not call them out on the site.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think what I find interesting about myself is that the things that appeal to me on a regular app, dating app, are not what I'm looking for on this app. So for example, if I was on a regular dating app and they say non-monogamous, if I'm in a relationship, which I don't do often, I would want it to be monogamous. But when I was on this, on Seeking, when it says they're looking for monogamy, I'm kind of like, oof, I don't know that it's so opposite because to me, that's a lot of pressure.
Isn't it though? Yeah, it's a different world. It really is.
It's so different. It's so different. And that's the thing. There's so many things that confuse me. There are some guys who will say, yeah, monogamy, and they're looking for, like, I think I mentioned this when I messaged you. I'm older. Like I said, even when I was younger, I wasn't into stuff, more like experiences, like let's do fun things. But now I'm a grown ass woman and it's more realistic for me. Like it's logical stuff. I need help with rent. I need bills stuff, just normal stuff. So when I've spoken to some men who are like, oh, I can give you fun nights out and wine and dine you, I'm like, it so doesn't appeal to me. It's not.
That's just normal thing.
That's a lot of my time for. It doesn't appeal to me to be wined and dined. I think that's more. Maybe if you already have your stuff taken care of, then the extras are nice. But I don't need the extras. You know what I mean? I need the basics kind of thing.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
As a business owner, it's important to keep your business connected. Spectrum Business is committed to keeping your business online whenever and wherever you need us, all backed by the Spectrum Commitment. Get fast, reliable internet starting at $40 per month when bundled, or level up your internet speed and get a 3-year price guarantee. Learn how Spectrum Business can help your business stay connected at spectrum.com/business. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
So I've met or spoken with a few people. So there's so many questions.
Let me ask, how big of a city are you in?
It's a pretty big city.
Okay, so you have plenty of choices?
I mean, yeah, I would think so. I mean, it's a big city.
Okay.
It's really spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what I'm thinking is everybody wants something a little different from the site. Everybody I talk to that I communicate with, they have their unique wants and needs. You do too. If you express those in your profile, you're going to weed out a lot of these people that may be Splenda daddies or they're just looking for an experience. Lily, she's great at wording profiles to kind of narrow in and zero in on those specific people that are going to deliver what you want them to deliver or attract what you want to attract.
In my profile, I'm very clear that I am looking for a mutually beneficial arrangement. And that's what I call it because it doesn't violate any rules. It's really safe to say. But I'm like, I'm looking for like best friends, great chemistry, genuine connection, and mutually beneficial. So that people who read that know that I have an expectation that I'm also going to get something. And hopefully it implies not just whining and dining.
Right. And I do say something like that. I even think it's more direct than that, but I do say something. I think I've also found, it's funny, they say you can't actually mention money and stuff. And I've had people had one guy just send me a thing going, $500. Like,
right. I think they've loosened up the policies a little bit because I've been seeing things thrown around that used to get you banned and it doesn't seem to be anymore. I know that Brandon Wade, the founder of the site, him and his wife took back over control of the site. I think it got a little too strict. But yeah, because they were trying to change the direction of the site.
How so? What do you mean?
Making it more of they call it hypergamy, which is dating up or dating this success arrangements.
Okay.
It was originally called seeking arrangements.
Right. I remember
they took the arrangement part out of it. And now they just call it seeking. And so a lot of people are jumping on there going, oh, I don't have to do the financial part anymore. Well,
Right.
the girls certainly still expect it.
Yeah, exactly. Question. When it comes down to safety, okay, so this is something I want to make sure I ask. So I had somebody reach out to me and he wanted to meet up and he gave me a price. It was a paper meet thing.
Okay.
And I remember you talking in episode 32 about how some situations you do by month, but that doesn't work. I get that too, because you want to make sure if you're paying a monthly allowance that you're getting what you pay for. Plus, also, you don't want the woman doesn't want to feel like, oh, she owes because she got the money. So I get the pay per meet. So a couple of things. One, I don't have any idea what is a reasonable ask for that kind of thing. And
Good question. Yeah.
It's the art of
Yeah.
negotiation.
well, so but so here's the thing. So I realized there were so many questions because there was how much, there was, and I tried to say, okay, but what is your expectation specifically? Do you know what I mean? Like what I knew what he wanted from the meeting. This wasn't a whining and dining situation, but it was like, I don't want to get myself into a situation where I'm in physical danger, or there's stuff that's expected that's not what I'm okay with, but I'm there, so I'm putting myself in this situation. The other thing is, how well do you know someone before you meet them for the first time? And I know that that's different for different people, but just getting to, and there's no moral part of this for me, it's the safety part of it.
Lily?
Okay. I try, if there's somebody that I'm truly interested in right away, having looked at their profile and having bantered back and forth on the site with them for a little bit, I try to get them off the site and to my Google Voice number. Do you have a Google Voice number?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Okay, don't be giving people your real number because
See, I already did that on WhatsApp. So when you said that, I was like,
Yeah.
then I listened to it. I'm like, well, that's another mistake that I made.
well, don't feel bad. I learned the hard way. It took
I learned the
a
hard way.
scary stalker before I
Really?
realized, holy shit,
Same.
I can't be giving out my real number.
Scary stalker.
Yeah, scary stalker.
So how do you do a fake number? I don't even know how to do
It's
that.
easy. Google Voice is free. Sign
Google
up,
Voice.
use your number, and it's an app, and it just comes just like a regular text. And you can even make calls through it. Yeah.
Well, and then once you have them communicating with you through your Google Voice number, you're so much freer to be direct about exactly what you're looking for out of an arrangement and find out what they're specifically looking for and see if there's compatibility there. And that way you're not wasting as much time just going back and forth with silly banter on the site. I like to, if we seem to be on the same page, I like to meet up relatively quickly if for a short amount of time in a public place.
Same.
Yeah.
So like a coffee or grab a cocktail or just something quick in public where there's going to be other people around. There's your safety net.
Yeah.
And then usually when you're seeing somebody in 3D, in real life, face to face, you can get a much better read on who they are, what they're like. Is there potential here? Would I see this person again? Yes or no? For me, about 8 or 9 times out of 10, that meet and greet just told me, move on. This is not going to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so that brings up a question. So if you're meeting them and you feel it's not, the chemistry's not there or something doesn't feel right, do you get compensated for that?
I never have asked. There have been a couple of gentlemen who just generously gifted me cash or a little gift of some sort, some kind of a token, or brought flowers. But for the most part, at the meet and greet, they usually just pay for my coffee or my beverage or my quick lunch. And then after that is when I would negotiate. Now, my understanding, I haven't been sugar dating for a long, long time. My understanding is it's much more common for girls to ask for compensation at the meet and greet. I don't know what it's like where you're from, but that's becoming more and more common
And I'll have
and
to,
expected.
yeah, I'll have to confirm that because we are seeing it more often. And
Really?
I'm happy to do it. Not like a full date amount, but maybe $100 or $200 just for their time. I've compensated people much more than that just for a meet and greet because I really, really enjoyed the time together. Whether I saw them again or not, I really enjoyed the time.
That's because you're a gem, Marcus.
Well, I didn't used to do that.
No,
But-
he didn't.
No.
But, and here's the other thing. If you aren't conveniently located to where you can meet face to face, do some kind of a video chat.
Yeah.
Do a Zoom call, do a WhatsApp chat, do FaceTime if you, I don't know, can you attach FaceTime to your Google Voice number? I'm not sure. At least hear their voice, look at their mannerisms,
Yeah.
Right.
see if you're even feeling any type of vibe.
Now you can attach your Google Voice number to WhatsApp, and you can FaceTime through WhatsApp.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
there you go.
Because in my situation is I don't have a car. And so if I'm Ubering to meet somebody, so my thing is it's not that I necessarily be comfortable charging for a meet and greet, but it's like, if this ends up costing me money, then that's kind of defeats the whole.
Now I've had
purpose.
women ask me to cover their Uber. More than happy. It's so cheap, $20-$30, whatever it is. More than happy to do that.
But don't
Now, if
let them send you an Uber.
Right. I know. Because then hello, there's my address.
Well, I've sent Ubers and they'll give me a corner, or something. Or
Right.
if they're
Or
in
like
an
a public
apartment
place.
complex, maybe there's 1,000 units there. There's no way I could find them in that apartment complex. Or they'll give me an address nearby or something. It's fine. I've had girls do that. Now, if you're asking me $300 up front for a meet and greet, I'm going to turn you down. But if you ask me to cover the Uber, hey, no problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I ask for gas money. If it's a very far drive, if they live, I have no problem.
And most men, if you're not open to that or even can afford that, you're not on the wrong site.
Right.
So you weeded them out real quick.
Right.
But I would say 90% of the men would be more than happy to cover your ride there.
Did we
What's
answer your
that?
question about safety?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my next question for that was, have you been in situations where you met somebody and something said unsafe? Like not just that there wasn't sort of chemistry or they weren't how they presented themselves, but that you felt, danger. Have you ever had that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
Just like normal dating. There's weirdos out there on all fronts. So like if you're in that initial meet and greet and that vibe feels weird or you just feel like something's off, it's like, trust your gut, girl, And it gets a little tricky. I feel like sometimes with sugar dating, especially you're in a very similar position that I was in when I started where I needed the money.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful not to let that cloud your judgment because desperation can lead to bad decisions easily, but just trust your gut. And I've even had experiences where I have gone home with the person or went to their house and then things kind of shifted. I have no problem saying bye.
Wow.
I have not felt incredibly unsafe in situations, but I've definitely felt like things were not. I would say though, in my experience, and Lily, it might be the same for you, 95% of the people I meet are just normal, maybe a little weird. The majority of the sugar daddies that I've had want pretty vanilla sex, nothing.
Yeah, there's some of them are just
nothing
socially
super
awkward,
crazy.
but
Yeah, most of them
Right.
are pretty harmless, but I've had at least 3 experiences where my instincts just told me get out of there.
Now, here's some things you can do before you show up for the date, which will help with the safety part. And that is once they text you, type that number into the White Pages app, which is very cheap, and it'll bring up their name, address, birthday. Then you can look them up. If they have a unique name, you can look them up on social media, LinkedIn. I mean, Google is an unbelievable source. And then you'll start feeling safer. Like, oh, this guy's a CEO of this company and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he's harmless. He would never do anything to put.
Yeah,
put
he's got a lot to
in that
lose.
position, right? For the most part, I'm saying never as a general term, but
I actually use Been Verified.
yeah, been
And I
verified
pay
works.
like a monthly subscription because I can do a criminal background check on them through Been Verified.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like $29.99 a month. As long as you have their location and their first and last name, you can pretty typically find them. And you can just see if they have a criminal background, see if they have anything crazy or scary that they've gotten in trouble for.
Now, here in Arizona, the court records are publicly available. So I actually do the same thing she does, but I do it without the subscription. I go right to the courts, type in their name, criminal, civil, even in the family courts to see if, they've been going through a divorce or whatever.
Right.
There's all kinds of very good sources that are free. And then there's another app called Mr. Number. It's free. And you can type in their number, and sometimes you'll find things on there too.
Okay, so for our Arizona people, what's the URL for the courts?
Just type Maricopa Civil Maricopa Superior Court.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Or whatever
It's a
county
long,
you're in.
Yeah, or whatever county you're in, yeah. I look in the justice courts, which are the local ones, and then I look in the county court or the Arizona court. I've got like 3 different court sites that I type their names into to see.
I guess if they're from
Yeah.
out of state, you could probably just check that state then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other, like I specifically date within my county or my area. So,
Well, a lot of sugar daddies come in.
yeah, sugar daddies travel more, but that's what I do. And so I've had a situation, I've talked about it on the podcast, where I was brand new, like you, didn't really know what I was doing. Girl used her real number. I was on my way to pick her up in a very seedy part of town, which is already going against my gut. But hey, throwing caution to the wind, I stopped to get gas. I found her real name, and then I typed it in, and she had just got out of jail for meth possession, like the day.
Oh boy.
So I made up an excuse, turned around, went the other way. She started blowing up my phone. I gave her my real number, which is tied to my real estate business and everything. It was just a bad learning experience, or a good one, because, I tried to.
Nothing happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried I had to block her, and I didn't know what lengths she would go to stalking me, but fortunately it didn't go anywhere. I learned very quickly I need to get a secondary number for dating. And so that's when I actually was using a texting app, which sucked, like Text Now and Text Me. And then Google Voice came out, which is much better. It's still not 100% reliable, because there was a couple times I texted somebody and they never got the text. And they're like, what are you talking about? And then we got together and I showed them and they showed me. I'm like, oh, okay, no wonder you were confused. Rarely it happens, but sometimes it does. So it's not 100% reliable, but it's much better than using your real number.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this Air France message. With Air France, your journey to France begins when you set foot on the plane, starting with a complimentary glass of champagne in every class. And in business and La Première, savor a 5-course meal with cheese and wine and unique menus created by some of the greatest French chefs. Enjoy a taste of France before you arrive. Bon appétit! Elegance is a journey. Air France.
Is it a normal expectation before you meet somebody in person to have their real name and all of
We
that?
try to. It's not always available. Some people are very good at hiding their identity, but I try to dig as deep as I can before I meet. I want as much knowledge about that person as I can get before I meet them. Lily, are you the same way?
Well, no, because
You should be.
I haven't been sugar dating in 2 years.
Yeah.
So I don't need to worry about all of this, but I'm very glad that there are ways to avoid it.
Yeah.
I didn't used to background check people. I didn't know to.
Angie,
But not even background check, just to know their name. And
I like to know everything I can.
I feel like probably the first 2 years of me sugar dating, I was a lot more unsure. I feel like a pro now. Now I can kind of pick up on vibes, because the rhetoric and the conversations tend to kind of be the same after a certain amount of time with all people that you meet on the site, right? They kind of just have this same little cycle to them. So it's a lot easier for me now, after having lots of conversations and lots of different experiences, to pick up on cues of like, okay, this is going in this category, or this person seems off. I'm not super vigilant, but I will say that whenever I do my first meet and greet, it's much like Lily. It's always in public. It's always in a safe area. And then again, it's much like dating. You just kind of use your gut. But if I felt like something was off and I wasn't sure, then obviously I would dig a little deeper.
So Alejandra, my main sugar baby, she paid for a background check on me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then I actually went out with another girl yesterday or the day before, and she admitted too, she does a hard, deep research on every single person and that's
jeez.
I think it's a
smart.
great idea.
Absolutely smart. Yeah.
Yeah. I was never that cautious.
That I know. It sounds like such a good idea.
Everybody
Unfortunately,
has
I
a
never was that.
different tolerance level for the people that they're going to meet.
Well, I think if I were to get back out there, I would probably utilize those resources now that I'm aware of them
Yeah.
But also, Kevin was like my first sugar daddy. So I started off
with a good guy.
with a good guy.
Yeah.
So I started off, I think that's one beautiful thing that I want to say to you. Being older, being more mature, being wiser. Number one, I feel like when you're older on the site, you attract a different quality of sugar daddies to begin with, in my personal experience. And so for me, the experience I feel like was better actually being a little bit more mature and going into sugar dating than doing it when I was young. I feel like there's just a little more respect there because the men who are looking for women who are a little bit older tend to be looking for more genuine connection, genuine,
Except for the MILF hunters.
Oh, well,
yes, I've gotten, I get like do get
I mean,
some, yeah, gotten some of that.
everybody
sure.
wants a mommy.
Yeah.
Are you a mommy?
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
We
I've
definitely
got,
will.
Yeah.
I've got two older sons. Yeah.
Now, would they be mortified if they found out you were on a site like seeking.com?
You know what? I think that they would know. I mean, I don't know, but I think I'm the type of person, I've done a lot of stuff in my life that they kind of be like, of course. Like, I don't think I can shock my children anymore. They know I'm kind of off that. But I think there are people who would definitely be surprised because I have in my past, I'm trying to weigh, it's funny because my anonymity is kind of like, I'm on the site with my picture. So how much can but I wrote a book about my past. And so I'm pretty out there. And I think there are people who, I think they'd be surprised that I'm kind of back in this type of
Scene?
Kind of. But at the same time, I really do feel when you go through a lot of stuff, and I've gone through a lot of stuff, I've overcome a lot of stuff, that I don't owe anybody an explanation to who I am or what I do. I don't need to validate or justify who I am or what I do.
I'm very proud. I'm very outspoken about sugar dating.
Okay, but this is interesting because I remember, when was that episode that you did? Episode 32. Like, how long ago was that?
It was like in 2021, 2020.
Because
2022.
Angie, I remember, because I remember when I was listening to it, you mentioned the word shame quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, because even though I haven't really done it, because I was like, no, don't feel shame. Because, and I mentioned to you, Marcus, when I messaged you, I said, our society has such a weird thing around, well, we know this, around anything that has a sexual content to it. And what I said to you, if you remember, what bothers me is that if I were to say openly, yeah, I'm on a sugar daddy site, or I'm in this type of thing, or even take it a step further and say getting paid for sex or whatever it is, there's this immediate disrespect. However, if I were to say to somebody, okay, I'm in this situation, I'm working 3 jobs, I'm digging ditches on the weekend, I'm cleaning homes, I'm working at fast food, and I'm breaking my back to make ends meet, people would say, good for you, doing what you have to do. And it's like, why is it good for me if I'm killing myself? Whereas if I can do something else, but we have this thing. And I find that is a horrible way to be,
absolutely.
And it's like, it should be good for you for doing what you have to do in a way that's not going to kill you over it. Or
It's not even what you have to do. It's what you want to do.
Right.
Your
But
body,
it's
sexuality.
the moral, it's the
100%.
judgment. I find that and I can't believe it's still a thing.
The reason there's judgment is because it's the old stigma of it's an old man looking for a young girl to have sex with.
Mm-hmm.
But what we've done over the last 3.5, almost 4 years is break that stigma and find out through surveys, interviews, it's not that at all. It's a very traditional role of a man taking care of his woman.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it boils down to. Yes, is there sexual component involved? There is with Tinder and Bumble and Match. And I mean, sex is a part of our life. We are sexual beings. Whose business is it if I take care of you financially also?
All relationships are transactional to some degree. It's just the way that it is. And as a woman, for me, whenever I started sugar dating, especially, I was a single mom just coming out of a divorce, broke as hell, trying to pay rent. I was judged if I did, judged if I didn't. If
Right.
I was on welfare and my kids had
Right.
crappy clothes and old shoes, and then I was judged. If I'm making money doing sugar dating, but my kids have nice clothes and more opportunity and more, I'm judged. You know what? I'm going to take option fucking too. Excuse my,
Yeah.
but I'm taking option two. I'm going to do what I have to do for me. And I could really give zero beeps about what anyone else
You can
thinks.
say 0 fucks.
Thank God. I could really give zero fucks about what anyone else thinks because you know what? They don't wake up every day and live my life.
Exactly.
And from the very beginning, I was very clear that I am doing this to build a business. I am doing this to better myself. I am doing this to make a future for me because I'm starting at ground zero. And that's exactly what I've done. And my business is successful now. And I cannot even tell you how many people I get into my clinic and I tell them about my sugar baby dating. And they think it's great. I have so many good conversations with people about it. And I do feel like there is a trend finally that the idea of sex work, sugar dating, sexuality, etc., like for your sons, my daughters, they do not have the moral issues with it that people our age do for the most part.
See, and I don't know that that's my experience
Really?
because I come from a very conservative community. I come from a
Small
very,
town, right?
yeah,
It's
I
small.
come from a very conservative former occupation to where,
That's fair.
like, literally, even
Yeah.
a hint that
Yeah.
I was on seeking.com, I would have been asked to leave my position.
Wow.
I mean, just based on
Totally different perspective.
rumor.
But very true.
My daughter grew up in a very conservative community. I mean, she teases me because my boyfriend is wealthy. And so she teasingly calls him my sugar daddy. But if she knew the extent of my experiences with sugar dating, she would judge
So
me
they don't.
hard.
No, she doesn't even know about the podcast.
No.
See, my children,
Wow.
my girls encouraged me. They're like, Mom, stop. Stop playing around with these fools that you're dating. Like, just go do this. But we came out of very conservative church, et cetera. And I live in a very large city. I mean, Arizona, Phoenix, Tempe, it's a much more liberal minded. So I definitely can, if I was back where I lived when I was married,
Yeah.
oh, hell no. No, no, no. That would not be something I would probably flaunt. So that's a good perspective.
And
shift
that's
for me.
one of the reasons I was asking you, Summer, is what size town you lived in, because small towns is very tough.
Yeah.
Like I met
Listen,
Billy. She's 3
Well,
hours away, but she did not have her profile active in that town. She had it active
No.
down here.
oh,
Absolutely. I was not inviting any potential date
Right.
off of any dating platform to drive to me. And many offered. Oh, hell no. I know too many people. I live in a very judgy community and I can't be showing up at the local
You go to any restaurant, any gas station, you know you there.
every other weekend with a different dude trying to figure out who I wanted to date.
And your profession, because we
Yes.
have a new girl in our group who shares your same profession.
Yeah.
And she has to be a lot more careful.
Yeah. Again, I would assume that were anyone to get wind of her sugar dating, she would be let go immediately, depending on how conservative her is.
It's not like OnlyFans. I mean, if she was doing OnlyFans, I could see that, but you're just on a dating site.
These are private relationships.
Oh.
It's not like you're, but
right.
still.
OnlyFans is something that's out there that people can go to. But I think I personally, for me, I think I've hit this wall of, they say you got your terrible twos. And I really do think I'm in my 0 fucks 50s. Like I just hit this wall where, you try to do the right thing, quote unquote. You try to live by the rules, which never really worked for me anyway. But now I'm kind of like, it's exactly what you said before, Angie. Like, if you're not living my life, you're not dealing with my struggles, you're not forging through the obstacles, then don't judge how I get through it. And that's how, I used to judge my past and I don't do that anymore. So listen, I'm going to do whatever I have to do. Now, that said, I wouldn't do something that I felt demoralized me. And when we talk about, that would be another comment that somebody would throw out that, because you hear all the time when it comes to OnlyFans or any kind of sex work, which this isn't, but let's just talk about that for a second. They say you're devaluing themselves. I'm like, isn't it the opposite? because aren't we putting value on ourselves? And one thing that you guys said at the beginning of that episode 32 that was so funny, and it's so true in the 2 minutes that I've been in this whole thing, is that you kind of look at now when somebody asks me out, I'm kind of like, for free? The thought of it's kind of like, why would I give it away for free?
I so agree. Sometimes I feel like I'm ruined because I have been on dating apps and gone out on traditional dates, and I'm just like, oh.
Are you ruined or are you just valuing yourself more?
Okay. And I think I said this in the previous episode too. I see my value and my worth so much more from sugar dating because now I have met men who really know how to treat a woman. It's been a very empowering, positive experience for me because I was dating up. And these are not men that in my day-to-day life previously, I would have thought that I would have even remotely been worthy of. And they adored me and they respected me and we had great conversation. And I was like, wait a minute, I belong here. I belong with this type of a man.
And that's what I said earlier that was so interesting is because when I'm on a traditional app, let's say, and I see somebody and they say they like to travel, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to swipe on them because I don't have the money to travel. Or, there's things that I wouldn't do or I wouldn't swipe on them because I'm like, well, I can't live that lifestyle, assuming that they're not going to, because then I feel, well, then it's me assuming that they're going to cover and I don't. Whereas this type of thing, again, these are men who are sort of assuming there's something in them that wants to be able to
100%
treat the person. But the thing is, so in the short time that my profile was open and all that, there were very different kinds of people that I spoke to. So in a very brief period of time, there was okay, why don't we get together, PPM, this much, whatever. Then there was somebody who wanted a lot more time. And he was like, well, for the intimacy, gave me sort of a number, which was quite low, in my opinion. I mean, I don't even know.
What was the number?
It's $300.
Yeah, that's
wow. That's way low.
Okay. So that was the thing. And it was like, and it seemed like there's going to be a lot of time. And I'm like, that's a lot of time for Then there was somebody else who, again, it was sort of like they didn't say PPM, but it was a lot on me. And I'm like, I'm new at this. I'm going to take a break because I don't know what I'm supposed to be asking, or it was just, I felt like there were a lot of, and some people were very like, hey, are you free now? Let's get together. And there was one guy that was like, literally one guy, younger guy, it was like late at night, and he's like, this is my address. I'm going to leave the door unlocked. And I'm like,
God.
not for me.
Red
like,
flag,
that's not going to happen. Yeah.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
I'll say that I have had multiple sugar relationships, though, that remained PPM, if you will.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
And it lasted well over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what number do you come up? Give me a rough, I don't even know what to.
So this is how I do it. I say, well, in my just lie that you've had a previous. In my previous arrangement, this is what worked for me. This is what I got. And then the art of negotiation, throw a big number out there because you're not saying this is what I expect. You're saying this was my experience. And then they can counter back and say, oh, well, I would be more comfortable with this.
Yeah, I know.
And it makes that conversation a lot easier.
Yeah, Alejandra has been throwing out ranges to guys, and she'll say, well, my previous ones were kind of between 500 and 800 or whatever the number is, right? And then she's finding that the guys kind of want to flex a little bit and give them a little, like, well, I'm better than those guys.
Yep.
Right.
Whatever. So she's, found connections with somebody and that's all his budget was 500. And she was fine with it because she really liked him and had the connection with him. Somebody else that she it was okay, but he was wasting a lot of her time. She's like, man, this guy's wasting so much of my time. I'm going to just say this higher number. And if he goes for it, great. And he did. So she's like, okay, well, now it's worth it. He can waste my time. Well, he's not actually wasting now.
Right. But that's the thing is I feel like there's one guy seemed very nice who's older. And he said to me, and it's so funny, it was such a funny conversation because like a lot of my money is tied up in property and da-da-da. But I'm like, we're looking for different things. Like if I was maybe younger, I would want just the fun dates, but that's all. And he's like, well, you sound really interesting. So, maybe I could stretch. And I'm like, well, I don't want you to, it was such a stupid conversation. I'm like, I don't want to put you out. What is this? And he lived far. Like I said, it's just not going to work. But it seemed like it was going to be, I think he wanted monogamy. So it would be like, I felt like I was going to put myself into a relationship. I'm not great at relationships when I want the relationship. So it seemed like it was going to be a lot of my time.
Yeah. This is why I want
not-
you to girls chat, because we talk about stuff like that constantly. If a guy is expecting monogamy, he needs to come at you with a much more generous offer.
Yeah.
Because
you're not able to see
he's reducing
else.
your income if you're not seeing anyone else.
Right.
He's reducing the assistance that you want and need at this point in your life.
Opportunity cost, networking. There's so much, other non-financial things that you can obtain. Many of the girls I've met have networked themselves into jobs, not just for me, which I've hired a bunch, but for other people. And I've referred them to other people. I'm like, oh, you do this? One was an architect.
Right.
She just got her architect license or graduate degree or whatever. Oh, my best friend at the country club is an architect, owned an architect company. So I referred her to him.
Right. Right. So it's very limiting for, unless it's a,
so
unless
if she's limited and not able to meet people, then that kind of limits her networking ability also. So.
Got it. Yeah. I'm feeling better about this already. I hope, is Google Voice everywhere, even where I am?
Yeah.
Kind of thing?
Yeah, it's probably.
I'm going to look into that.
Wide.
Okay. Because people wanted to, and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. Like,
yeah, it's through the internet. You can even access it on your computer. Like
Super
I've read
easy.
messages on my computer. Matter of fact, I got 2 Google Voice messages while we were sitting here. So,
I have another question for you.
Okay.
So when it comes to one thing I find interesting, and I'm sure people lie on this site too, but I feel like men are more honest about being married, I'm finding on this site than they would be on another site.
Angie would confirm that. I think Lily would too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
some of them still lie.
I'm sure.
Went on a couple of dates with this one kind of strange man and told me he was separated in the middle of a divorce. And I'll be damned if his wife didn't go through his phone, find my number, and call me.
Oh, I
my gosh.
remember that.
See, that's
heated voicemail.
Yeah, that's a nightmare. Yeah.
I actually have, if I can share it really quickly, this recently happened. I have a kind of, actually, I think it's funny story about a married sugar daddy that I see.
Okay, real quick. I'm running out of time.
So he came over to my house, right? And he was in my bedroom and I went out to do something. I have a very large German Shepherd who is very protective of home. And I'll be damned if my dog did not run in that bedroom and bite this man.
Oh,
I know. But I think it's a funny story. But anyway, I'm sorry he got bit. There's more to it.
I'm like, okay.
And I was like, but at least he
can explain that.
Like, what was he going to do?
Does your dog sense that he was a cheater?
Yeah, I think, he's a good sugar daddy, but his vibes are kind of like, my dog bit this man. I was like, oh my God.
Did he have to go to the ER?
Well, no, what was he going to do? Tell his wife he got bit by a dog?
Well, that's the thing. So
it was on his shin. So, he could have made up any kind of, it wasn't bad. My dog's not like a mauler. He's a nipper. If he thinks there's a threat, it's like, he's not like going to, but oh my gosh, never would I have ever, never.
I guess the draw here is you assume that both people want the discretion. Discretion is a word I see on this site a lot, right? Discretion.
And
I love discretion. Go ahead.
There's married men who their wife know. I have one person that I'm still friends with that his wife was ill and she was okay with him seeing other people. So you'll find a huge variation of different types of relationships and things on Seeking.
There's everything you want and what you don't want. And you just got to figure out what it is where you fall in that spectrum and focus in on that. But a lot of great questions. We're going to have to do a part 2 because I want to hear updates.
Oh boy. All right. I'll get back out there. But Lisa, tell me how to get to that group that you were talking about.
Email me your phone number and I'll add you.
Yeah, it's through a WhatsApp group.
But get your Google Voice number first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I'll go.
Let's throw your Google Voice number in there because I'm telling you, some of the questions you asked me yesterday, I was like, I haven't been an active participant in the Sugar Bowl for so long. I don't know how to answer some of these. So I put them out to the girls and I'm getting lots of responses that I can copy paste to you.
And they have
cool
guys.
They're so smart.
I love reading through their answers and their stories because I'm active in that group as well. It's just fun to be in.
Now, if you guys want more information on that group, it's people that originated from our Patreon. And they kind of started the group. So if you're a member of our Patreon, we'll
hook you up.
Yeah, DM us.
With the sisterhood.
Yeah, and it's free to be a member of the Patreon. All right, Summer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I really appreciate this. I feel a little bit better.
I can't wait to speak to you. This show could have gone 3 hours, and I want it to, but we've run out of time in studio. I think they got somebody waiting to get in here, so we've got to go.
Yeah, hopefully I'll have some interesting updates.
Yeah, we definitely want to talk to you again. I'll have Lily keep in touch, and we're going to get you scheduled here again.
Perfect. Oh, boy. Okay.
If you guys want to share your crazy sugar dating stories, we'd love to hear them. Go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. And like I said, don't forget to join our club at patreon.com/Secrets of a Sugar Daddy podcast. I will have links to it at the bottom of this description. It's on our website. It's easy to find. And like I said, it's free to join. Lots of great content there. Okay, Lily, looking fabulous as always. I love this sweater. We're going to
my pink Valentine's ensemble.
Got her Valentine's ensemble. And I'm telling you, Angie is looking as fly and fresh as I've ever seen her at 40, what now?
47.
Man, you're looking good. So we're going to take a picture and throw that on Patreon just right after this recording. So you guys will definitely want to see that. All right. Summer, once again, thanks again. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye. You're so cute.
Bye.
So fun.
This was so fun. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.